So this is the number one thing that I've really been working on for the last 2 years. So for the last 2 years, it's I focused too much on achievement early in my career, right? Like getting a bigger team. I do everything revenue wise, everything I want. I just want people. Like I spent all my money on people because honestly, I'm really afraid that I will not be enough, right? We're all of it. If we went to Brene Brown, she would say all of our greatest fears are that we're not enough and then we won't be loved. But my version of not enough is like, okay, I can't find people who can deliver what I need them to deliver or work with the way I need them work with. Or if I do, when I really need them, they won't be there for me. And if they're not there for me, I have to do it. And if I have to do it and I'm not good enough, I'm going to let everyone down or I'm going to fail. If I let everyone down and fail, then like what then? Like I'm just, it just proves in my, that voice of doubt in my head that says, Mark, you're not good enough. I've just proved it right. So if we back that up to like, okay, well, what is my real issue? My real issue is like, I don't really trust people or I'm worried they won't be there to help me when I need them to help me. But it's all back to achievement, like achievement, right? If I have the team, then I'll be happy. If I can break 1 million revenue, then I'll be happy. If I can break 2 million revenue, I'll be happy. If I can earn, an extra 250,000 profit, then I can spend it and be happy. Or like, it's just achievement. And there's no way to win that long term. Because you could put together great quarters, you could put together great years, but eventually you're going to have a setback. You're going to have a great recession. There was a time during the Great Recession, 2009, where there was a 3-month period, I think it was 2-3 months, where we had 0 projects, 0 revenue. I had to let everyone go. Now, let's say I was really focused again on achievement, and now we have nothing to work on. Or when the pandemic hit, we had hundreds of thousands of dollars of projects get put on hold immediately. Like March 12th, oh, what's going on? March 13th, the Friday, I suddenly had a home. The next Monday, everything got put on hold. It was like every single project. Then what? What do I do if I'm not the successful entrepreneur? And so I've spent the last 2 years actually trying to realize that, and I don't quite have a perfect answer, but it's not about the outcome for me anymore. It's not about the achievement. It's now about the effort I put in. So, I spent a lot of time on my health. And a year ago, I did this challenge that was an achievement challenge. At 38 years old, I spent 4 months on this really strict program for nutrition and diet. I cut a lot of weight. And I got to 13% body fat because I wanted to have 6-pack abs. That was the challenge. Can you have 6-pack abs at 38, never having really been fit or exercised?
I saw that video on your website.
Chunk Time Challenge. Yeah. That was an achievement challenge. It made me feel really good. It made me feel really good, really confident, really proud. And it was amazing. I was amazed at what I did, at what I'm capable of. But the last year has actually been harder than probably the year before that for my health. Because even though I'm healthier than I frankly have ever been, I'm not as lean as I was then. So get this, right? I'm now working out more and I'm healthier and I actually probably look better to those around me. But in my head, the achievement is tied to how lean I am. And because I'm no longer lean, I'm about 15 to 20 pounds heavier than I was then, even though 12 pounds of that is muscle. And even though I can list all the benefits, I had a high point achievement, and now in my mind, I'm below that. And so even though I have more, I feel worse about it. That's the problem we all have. And so the only answer is to focus on effort and not the outcome, right? This is why people say when you start a business, you got to pick something you love, because it's got to be something that you're going to be able to do on the days that you don't love it, or that you're going to come back to, or that you're not going to give up on. You got to just keep focusing on it, because if it's not something you love, when you're focused on the achievement, and that achievement that you thought would take a year turns into 8 years, are you going to give 8 years to this thing? Only if you love it. But if you focus on the effort, right? If you focus on the effort, when I'm on the treadmill, the treadmills only go to 12 miles, 12 miles per hour, right? The treadmills I go to, they go to 12 miles per hour. I can run at 12. 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, I can run at 12. It's really, really hard for me, but they don't go to 13. So now what do I do? Once you hit that level where you're great, I hit that, then what do you focus on?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you focus on effort, right? My back is killing me. I've been I accidentally joined a challenge that I didn't realize was going to be this hard. It's like a running challenge for the month of August. And I run 5 times a week. I thought that was enough. It turns out that the people I'm competing with decided they're going to run every day. I don't run every day.
Wow.
I don't like running every day.
No, you might need some kind of recovery.
Yeah. But because my competitors are running every day, now I feel like I got to run every day. So like I am in so much pain right now, even standing here talking to you, because this morning I was there on the treadmill. And my coach is like, you got to take a day off. And I was like, in September, I'm not taking a day off till this challenge is done. But I had to drop my numbers. I had to run slower. I was still there. I was still running. But I know that every minute that goes by, my competition's pulling further and further ahead because I have to run slower. But what are my alternatives? Like either I run really fast today and then suddenly now I cannot make the rest of the month.
Correct.
Or I focus on my effort and I say, Mark, your back hurts, your glute hurts, you're struggling to run, but you're showing up. Yeah, you would normally run this at an 8 or a 9 miles per hour. You're running it at a 7. Your competition got 2.8 miles today. You got 2.67. That's not bad considering how much pain you're in. There's 15 days left in the month. What are you going to do to be able to show up for the next 15 days? Right? Like that shift from achievement where I would have felt bad because now I have to run slow because of this and all these things, to effort in life, in business, in relationships. This is the only way that I've found to be able to stay sane for the long term. And to stay sane for the long term is what leads to success. It's not the manic up and then the depressed down. It's not the like, I'm going to go hardcore for a few weeks and then take a few months off. It's that sustained, compounding, month over month, year over year that leads to really remarkable successes. And I'm learning that comes from just like focusing on the effort.
Well, the workout part is a great analogy. And it also touches on not comparing, like now bringing this back to the business side too, is not comparing yourself to other companies all the time. These other companies might have other resources. Maybe they've been at this longer. Maybe they're having their big ebb and, they're having their big moment in the sun right now that you're, maybe saying that you're not on that same level of achievement, but maybe last month or last year, they were having the worst year of their life and they were about to go under. You don't know these things, but when we're constantly comparing ourselves to others, we forget about our own journey and sometimes maybe diminish what we've already been through or where we're going. And I think that analogy you said hits on that as well. Like, yeah, we need to think about our own journey and how can we pace ourselves to make sure that we don't burn out? We can finish this, this competition that's going to go through the month of August, which by the way, best of luck to you. Get some yoga in or something. Hopefully you got like a little lumbar support there for yourself.
I'm just moving. Let me ask you, Chris, do you have kids?
I do not. I like to always say it's very intentional because my team is my kids. And it's always kind of been that way. Even when I used to work at other companies, I just feel like I have a lot of kids that are my employees.
That's an amazing response. I actually love that response better than if you're just like, nope. But, and the reason I ask is for anyone who's listening, if you have a team, if you have kids, if you have a younger sibling, if you have cousins, like no matter your age or where you're at, here's the most helpful thing that I've been able to find. Whenever you face any situation, good, bad, tough, a hard day, no matter what it is, imagine your kids, your cousin, your siblings, your team members, imagine them coming to you with this and them saying like, oh my goodness, I'm such an idiot, or this happened, or what would be the first thing you would tell them? You would say, listen, it's okay. It's okay. Like, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's not great. Oh, you did that. That's kind of embarrassing, or that kind of sucks, or I'm so sorry that happened to you. And then you would say like, but how were you to know? Or like you did the best you could, or at least you tried, or you had no idea that they were going to come along and do that. Like you would help them frame it in a way where it's like, let's see the big picture here.
Yep,
right?
Not everything is in your control. Yep.
No, and it's so clear to you. Like the reason I ask about kids is I got 4 kids, and every time that I imagine myself talking to my kids with my own problems, if you follow along that logic, right? Like I bring myself my problems, and then I go like, hey, I'm my son. If my son were saying this to me, what would I tell him? And I would just be so understanding and so forgiving. But when it's myself, it's like I'm just so hard on myself. And the opposite is true on the advice side too. Like I think I let a lot of stuff fly that I wouldn't let my son get away with. Where I'd be like, well, what do you mean you're tired? You didn't do all your chores. I don't care if you're tired or not. You didn't do your chores. You have to do these things. Right? Or like, I know you're like my son, if I know you're afraid, pick up the phone and call them. Yeah, but I don't know. Just do it. Just do it. I'm not going to listen to your excuses. Just go ahead and do it. Right? So this shift is actually to answer your earlier question about like getting over the achievement and focusing on the effort and all these things, and that you are enough. The greatest game I've started playing with myself that actually helps me more than anything else to give me peace and comfort and grace when I'm feeling stressed, when I'm feeling behind, when I'm feeling like when I'm running out of time or I'm a perfectionist, is I just say, what would I tell someone, like one of my kids, if they came to me with this? And then I just listen. And I go, Mark, it's okay. Yeah, that was embarrassing, or that sucked, or you could have done better, or you should push harder, or why are you making excuses? It's okay. You're okay. And then I can just breathe a little more. And then the answers come, and then the creativity comes, then the next steps come, then everything comes. It just works out when you're not in that like stressful mode all the time.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to use that practice because that's something that I know myself and other entrepreneurs I talk to. Like we always, as the saying goes, we are our own worst critics a lot of times. And, like you said, the advice that we give ourselves isn't necessarily the advice that we would give somebody else if we're trying to be compassionate. We need to be compassionate with ourselves in the way that we are with others.